Annyeonghaseyo, all my beautiful people. How are you doing today? Welcome to the alternate point of view. My name is Tracy Lee. I apologize for how I look. Oh my gosh, but I have been watching so many different trials, and today was sentencing day for a case that I covered a while back. And that case was for Robin Howington. If you don't remember this case, it was about a woman whose 5-year-old daughter, Destiny, was shot and killed in her home. And she, Robin, tried to cover up this scene. She tampered with evidence. She tried to say that some black man entered her home and shot her daughter. And she claimed that she had no information. She made up several different stories. It was really, really weird. She also tried to destroy her own cell phone. And she, it was just a debacle of a case. Then she ended up blaming her child's father for the death of her daughter, who wasn't even in the city at the time that this occurred. She also tried to get a man that she sells drugs to come and collect the gun that she had thrown and hidden in the bushes outside of her residence. And then she even went so far as to blame her 2-year-old son for killing his sister. So how this all came about was apparently Robin was a drug dealer. She had a 2-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter, and she claims in one of her stories that she didn't know the gun was even in the house. Then she claimed that her ex came over a few days earlier. They got into an argument. Her new boyfriend somehow, some way got the gun, put the gun away, told her to hide the gun. She didn't know where she put the gun. She didn't even know she had the gun. Then the next thing you know, she said that she had the gun in the top of the closet. And then the 2-year-old somehow managed to drag a stool from the kitchen, climbed up on the stool in front of the closet, got the gun out of the top of the closet, and walked into the living room and shot his sister. And she was trying to protect her son because she didn't want him to get in trouble. So she made up all of these elaborate stories to protect her 2-year-old. Now, for those of you that don't know much about guns, okay, now this was a semi-automatic handgun. And so there was a round in the chamber. So in order for a round to be in the chamber, you have to pull the slide back for a round to go into the chamber. It doesn't automatically go into the chamber. So you have to pull the slide back. So the ammunition, the clip, or whatever you want to call that, the magazine is what it's actually called, not a clip, but a magazine was in the gun, okay? The round was chambered in the gun. A 2-year-old wouldn't have the strength to round a chamber. So there was already a round in the chamber. Also, there was a safety on this gun. The safety was not on. So a 2-year-old would not understand how to turn a safety off and on, okay? So like my camera button here there's a button on the side so that I can automatically turn my camera on my phone. So if this button isn't on, then I can't turn my camera on. So that's the kind of a way a gun works. There's a safety on the side of a gun. Okay, so this is a gun. I hope I don't get in trouble for this on YouTube. This is a gun. And on the side of a gun, there is normally a safety. And it's a little metal, right? It's metal. And you have to slide it whichever direction the safety is, okay, to get it in, to turn the gun to be used or not. But this gun didn't have the safety on. Off. It was on. She claims someone showed up at her door to get a payment for window tint. Okay. She claims she didn't know where the gun was. She claims then she says that, of course, the 2-year-old went up into her room, into the closet, got a stool, took the gun out, and then somehow managed to round a chamber and take the safety off and shoot his 5-year-old sister while she's laying on the sofa watching cartoons. Okay. Then she dismantles the gun, throws it in the bushes, texts the guy who's coming over to buy drugs. That's what the guy said. He's like, I was on my way over to buy drugs. She tells me to go into the alley and come into the yard. And he's like, not that familiar really with the alley. He's like, I don't know where the alley is, but he has been to her house. And he was like, I don't want no part of this. I don't know what's going on. So, what we really believe went down was the guy, the window tint money collector, was really there to buy drugs. And what the judge said in the sentencing was that he believed that she was selling drugs. She had the gun out for protection. And somehow, if the theory is right, if her story that her 2-year-old shot his sister with this gun that was laying out, the gross negligence on her part by leaving the gun out. Now, I just want to say, I'm not an expert on guns, but I do know this. In a semi-automatic handgun, you need at least 6 to 8 pounds of pressure to pull the trigger all the way back and get the projectile to come out, okay? A 2-year-old, now there have been studies, as we saw in the trial, there have been studies of whether or not a child has enough strength to pull the trigger, and this is with 2 fingers, not 1, 2 fingers. Now, there haven't been studies done on 2-year-olds, but there have been studies done on 3 and up if they have the strength to pull enough pounds of pressure on a trigger to get the projectile to come out. Now, I will say this also. Now, Destiny was shot in the chest. That's a pretty good shot, all right? I also say the recoil for even an adult, an inexperienced adult who's never shot a weapon in their life, without the proper stance, without the proper training, you would have some recoil, okay? So recoil means when you go to, I love using my glasses apparently as a prop, but when you go to shoot a gun, if you have 0 experience and you're not holding this gun in the proper stance, okay, is you would have your arms out with a little slight bend, okay, because you want to be sure. And you would also have you'd have a proper stance, okay, but you would be sure that you would have proper stance, proper position, okay, so that when you fire the gun, because automatically when you fire, it's gonna go up, okay, so you have to be sure you have the proper stance and you have proper, you're pretty stiff, but you're ready for that recoil, okay, so that's why you have to be ready, and be ready when you fire. The gun doesn't, that you don't have that automatic go up, okay, so a 2-year-old would not be able to have that proper stance. They wouldn't be ready, aim, fire, okay? So if a 2-year-old really did, in fact, get that good of a shot in his sister's chest with no recoil, now where do you think, okay, if you don't have proper stance, you're 2 years old, I mean, just imagine, 2 years old, and the weapon goes off. Weapons don't go off, by the way, okay? They don't just happen like, poof, poof, they go off. That's not how it works, okay? So he's 2, and maybe he used both fingers. If he was able to use both fingers, and he was able to put the 6 to 8 pounds of pressure on the trigger, okay? Where do you think this weapon possibly could have caused him damage? Because the recoil for a 2-year-old, his arms are short, okay? He's 2 years old. This gun could have been extremely close to him. He's very lucky, if he were the one who pulled the trigger, that this gun didn't pop back and fly in his face. Okay? So I'm quite surprised that they're going with this narrative, okay, that the 2-year-old did this. But that's the only story they got, because the daddy story didn't work out, the boyfriend story didn't work out, the black guy story didn't work out, none of the stories worked out. She's not taking responsibility. So the only thing they could do, because she's not talking, is she's blaming it on her 2-year-old, which is really freaking sad. That this 2-year-old, when he gets older and looks back on this, is going to have the weight to carry that his mom blamed him for killing his sister. But anyway, that is basically the recap of Robin Howington, okay? And her despicable life of having these children and wreaking havoc on the baby daddies, being a drug dealer, and somehow, some way, flying under the radar of CPS, and being allowed to have custody of these children, and then having her mother have custody of these children, and the father's not knowing anything about it. I don't know. Our social system is so screwed up, you guys. But she, in the end of the day, was charged. She was given 22 years, but there were other felony charges on top of that. So she was given three 3-year sentences plus a 5-year sentence. So it's over 30 years total. They will all be served back to back to back to back. So she has to serve 85% of these terms. She looks to be, and it could be the drugs, I don't know. Her kids were young, 2 and 5. This happened in 2019, you guys. It's 2024. So I don't know what took so long for this to get to trial, probably because it happened in 2019 and then COVID happened. And then so probably that's what happened. So the courts were backed up, but also because of all the evidence tampering, also because they went after the baby daddy, and he literally, his life was ruined because of this, because she blamed him, and they were after him for so long. So she did end up with 22 guaranteed years. She does have to serve 85% of her sentence, which is about 18 and a half years before she's up for parole. But there are the other 3, and 5 that I heard the judge say. So you guys tell me what you think about this. Destiny was only 5 years old. Her other child, Gavin, was only 2. And he is now at an age, the census happened in 2019, so he's 7. I feel like that he's getting to an age where he is probably, he's hearing about these things. He knows what's happened. And I hope he doesn't grow up hearing that his own mother blamed him for killing his sister, because that's absolutely horrible. I don't know what happened. Only God and Robin Howington know what really happened to Destiny. But I hope that God has Destiny up there as an angel with him. And I pray for Gavin and the rest of his life, and that this doesn't ruin his life. And I hope that he has a good life. So I hope that you will all remember, as her father remembered her in his victim impact statement, her final day that she had with him when he got to pick her up from school the Thursday before her death, where he was allowed to pick her up from school, and they got to go to her favorite place, which was Chick-fil-A. They went to a gym where she got to swim and rock climb, and they got to go to Brewster's Ice Cream, and they talked about what she wanted to be for Halloween. They went and picked out a costume for her to wear to school, and they had a really good time. She was a daddy's girl, and she really loved her dad, and he really said she was the perfect daughter, and he really misses her. And, you know, to add insult to injury for him, losing his daughter, He didn't even get to go to her funeral because that was the day that he was arrested, because Robin Howington blamed him and said he was the one who killed his own daughter when he wasn't even in town. So I pray for him and his grieving, and for everyone who lost such a beautiful little soul. So I hope that everyone, again, these sentences are so low, you guys. I just feel like, man, is this the best we can do? You know? So let me know in the comments what you think. I had to do a quick video about this because I already did this case and now the sentencings are coming through. So I have another update for another case. I'm waiting for the jury to come in for the verdict on another trial that I'm covering. So many trials, you guys, and so many updates. So I can't wait to get back with you. Leave in the comments. Let me know what you think. Please share. If you didn't watch the first video, I'll leave a link in the description below for the first video, but it is in this channel. So let me know what you think about it and leave any comments. I love your comments, guys. I love the feedback. It's so great. And please keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. Oh, and good news, you guys. We've made it. We are finally monetized. Yay! And it's all because of you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful subscribers and viewers. I'm so excited. By the way, I don't make any money on YouTube. This is all for fun. And even being monetized, zero money. The last time I had a YouTube channel, I think the most I made was 7 cents.